Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, and welcome to On Air Education, a television show where entertainment meets education. We started On Air Education early in 2020 when we learned that the schools were closing. On one of my daily walks, I had an epiphany, and you know how painful those can be. Who's teaching the teachers? How can we expect our teachers to engage their students on a 13-inch computer screen when they've been in front of a live classroom their entire career? We used our downtime to write a curriculum on beginning broadcasting. We quickly tired of seeing Zoom calls with dirty clothes and dirty dishes behind the participants. With the help of Clark County Education Association and Nevada State College, we've been able to invite our friends from the world of entertainment to share their engagement skills. We also learned that teaching English is different than teaching science, and teaching math is different than teaching music or art. Today, through the miracle of modern technology, we're able to host a show on just that, technology, specifically sports science. A little on throughout the show, we're going to be going back and forth to a couple of our students, Jacob Stock and Lindsay Mojica, who are going to be demonstrating what a 3D printer can do and how that's working in the field of science and technology. And through technology, our first guest is able to join us from his recording studio, where he's laying down vocal tracks on some new songs. International recording artist, broadcaster, humanitarian, and my big brother, Al B. Shore.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Johnson.
Al, how's technology changing in the world of music production?
As you and I know, when we have these conversations frequently, that technology moves much faster than the laws. And what has happened is it's now allowed an entirely different fragrance, for lack of better terms, to enter into the world of entertainment. Um, in addition to, I think the most enlightening part of what has transpired as of recent is just seeing the things that like D Nice, DJ Cassidy, who has the show with the Jesse Collins Productions, who do the Oscars and things of that nature. Um, D Nice, who's now does on Good Morning America, the DJs, where they're taking the social media platform and creating this new, even for themselves, a new revenue stream, but also um, a format where it's kind of like you and I when we discussed the cryptocurrency, and people are so used to the paper money, which is declining daily, but the cryptocurrency is appreciating, and it's the same thing with with the technology, and it's allowing a new audience, in addition to allowing um, just you to take it to another level and reach a new database. Um, in addition to, and if you have something related to any type of sales point, I don't want to ruin my sexy because, but as you know, I'm a little bit of a cornball because all I'm into is data analytics and just understanding the digital footprint of what an artist can do, with their particular brand. And it's really important and significant that these artists pay attention to that aspect of their careers, because that's not about Billboard and it's not about the Oscars, the Grammys. So it's really about what are you doing now to incorporate your craft with the new technology related to like your show here. You've done an amazing job, being like this sports icon and entrepreneur, but then you've now learned to incorporate and indulge with social media, because you have to. I mean, you have to, because you're going to reach the masses as well. And those who don't do so become Blockbuster or Tower Records. And remember, they were, or a cab service prior to Uber and Lyft. But that technology is now allowed for things to be amazing as it relates to just being able to reach the masses. And the key to it is this is where everybody is.
We did a show last week, and we were talking to a math teacher, and we were talking exactly about cryptocurrency, blockchain, and how it's possible to engage students in math by using money, because the money is something that everybody's interested in. Money. We appreciate you joining us. I also want to introduce some of our other guests, because we've got a lot of show for you guys and gals watching today. Dylan Gonzalez was ranked number 85 in the country as a high school basketball All-American nominee, and went on to play basketball for the UNLV Women's Running Rebels, and also graduated from UNLV with high honors. Dylan's a singer-songwriter, recording artist, and currently working on her next CD release. Dylan Gonzalez, a professional model, a top social media influencer with over 1.3 million Instagram followers and is a co-founder of Peace Trained Foundation. Dylan, how does changing technology impact your life?
Oh my goodness. It's just so cool to get to sit here and even listen to Al. And one of the things that stood out to me that he said was we have to learn how to incorporate technology into our crafts. And I feel like taking it into that next space is to make a difference with that. And that's something that for me has always been very important, and incorporating into the entertainment world as well and in technology is making a difference with my platform. So I'm really grateful to be here with you guys today to be able to share.
I'm digging your platform. I'm looking at your music. Also joining us via technology is Dr. John Drazen, as a postdoctoral fellow in orthopedic surgery at the University of Pennsylvania, where Dr. John studies human biomechanics, which is even tough for me to say. Dr. John's research is focused on creating new mobile research tools to study human movement outside of the traditional laboratory. Dr. Drazen has served as STM director at the Albany, New York-based nonprofit organization Fourth Family Incorporated since 2012, where his programs have engaged thousands of youths across the country. Two youths in STM through sports, science, and community service. Since 2018, Dr. John's been the director of Court Science Classroom, where he works with the Tomorrow Stars Foundation to engage Las Vegas youth in STM learning through sport science at the Summer League. Same question. Dr. John, how's technology used in your classroom?
Thank you so much for having me, Jonathan. So technology permeates everything. So I was teaching at Lincoln University at the start of the pandemic, and I had to immediately go from having a regular classroom, to teaching everything over Zoom. So as a scientist myself, who prides himself on being able to collect data and make data-informed decisions, I really had to very quickly sit there and get used to this new environment and collect some data on what was working and what wasn't working in the classroom. And I was able to take all those experiences I had and then use it to help run the programs we've done with Tomorrow Stars Foundation for the past year with students in Vegas. And it's been entirely virtually.
Dr. John, for those that don't know, what is STEM? What does STEM stand for?
Oh, so STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I feel like STEM it's become kind of a buzzword where people say we need more STEM, but they don't really know what it is and kind of like what it is at its core. And fundamentally, STEM, we've heard this from every single one of the guests so far, it's just a process of asking and answering questions and using technology to improve something.
Now, in another part of our studio, Jacob Stock and Lindsay Mojica have been working on a 3D printer that students are using in their sports science classes. Dr. John, have you been using the 3D printer?
Yeah, no. So actually, this actually really kind of captures the power of STEM and why it's so important. Is because it's not like a single discipline; it's just an approach to doing things. So we've been working. We did sports science for the majority of the year. And then we got the 3D printer, and I was going to do some sports science 3D printing with the students to look at more or less modeling bones and joints like we had been before. And actually, one of our students, Khalil, he actually said, like, could we print a gibbet? At which point I said, what is a gibbet?
That's
and
what
then
I
he
said.
explained, yeah, no, I know, I'm not caught up on it, but pretty much the students sat there and they explained that the things that we're using in sports science could be also used in 3D printing to like create these charms for Crocs shoes, which became very popular in the NBA bubble. So I was at least aware of them.
We have Dr. John Drazen. We've got Dylan Gonzalez and Al B. Shure. My name is Jonathan Scott. You're watching On Air Education. We're going to take our first short commercial break and come on back with more On Air Education.
In a changing world, it's time to change how we look at college. That's why Nevada State College provides excellence with affordability, a campus with diversity, and programs that offer opportunity. Nevada State College. Be bold, be great, be state.
Welcome to the Great American Pub, a great place to hang out with your friends, watch a game, and enjoy some great pub food. Our kitchen is open 24/7 with our full menu. Try some of our signature dishes like lobster mac and cheese or clam chowder. Join us at the Great American Pub and enjoy happy hour specials. Grab a drink and enjoy great pub food from all over the country right here in Las Vegas. The Great American Pub with two great locations, 215 in Eastern and Flamingo in 215.
Quincy, you're ready.
I'm ready.
I know you're ready. The world is ready. The universe is ready. Let's do it. Quincy 2.0.
Night and day.
It is all for you. All for you. I can tell you how I feel about you night and day. Oh, yeah. Girl, you know I can tell you how I feel about you night and day.
And we're back. Of course, that was our guest, Al B. Shore, and his son, Quincy, on a remix of the hit song Night and Day. We hope you dug it as much as we did. Now, Al and Dylan, I have to ask you, you're both working on songwriting and releasing new CDs right now. How does your knowledge of technology help you in the recording studio? Al?
Well, I was going to say ladies first. The lovely
Ladies
Dylan,
first. Okay, Dylan.
superstar, athlete, musician, entrepreneur.
Al's so smooth. He's the consummate gentleman. And I should say that you can listen to Al's Love and R&B Sunday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to midnight. Go to albshure.net, and that'll give you the local station. You can listen to it on radio, or you can listen to it on the internet through technology, right? There we go.
Exactly.
So
See,
dill pickle.
You got it.
Dill pickle.
Okay, it just depends, because it's dill pickle for you, Jonathan, since we were talking about our shared love of pickles. But in my entertainment nerd space, when I'm representing for the nerds and entertainment, it's Dill Nye, the science guy or science gal, because I can't really rip off Bill. But I would say when it comes to recording, there really isn't a point in the process where technology cannot be utilized, and then again also is imperative and necessary to the process. Even when I'm doing my writing, I got two phones. Yes, I do. I have two phones, but it's because I really use them both as instruments to help me record. So some of the tools that a lot of people don't even know, just right there on your iPhone, you can sit and record yourself and practice before you even get into a studio and get to sit behind the mic. And then there's a whole other process if we want to get down the engineering road, okay? But that we'll save that for a later date. But there really isn't a part where technology has not interwoven itself so deeply into how I believe some of the best music is created for this new era.
Do you sample? Do you use sampling?
Yes, I do, yeah. I mean, not all the time, but it's so fun to me because I just feel like, everything came from somewhere. We're really sampling everything these days when you really want to get general with it and relative. However, I just have so much appreciation for the things that influenced me as an artist. So I love to, hit a little throwback here and there. That 80s to 90s to early 2000s era is probably some of my favorite time in music. So I really try to engulf myself in that time, and bringing it back to technology, thanks to what it has created, thanks to these spaces that I'm able to go back and listen to those things again and utilize these platforms to even go back to history to bring that inspiration in me every day. We got the replay button. I got the loop button. I could sit there all day and listen to one song over and over. And that convenience is something that I'm super, super grateful for, and I don't take for granted from the people ahead of me who even created that.
Now, Big Brother, you've been ahead of me on technology for years now, and especially with the phone. Whenever I have trouble with my iPhone, I get Al and I say, Al, can you show me how to do this? Because, I'm still learning. We had to figure out how to sign on to Facebook.
I'm still learning too, okay? I even told you I don't even run my own Facebook. Okay? I don't even know who's running it.
And you should.
I know. We got to figure that out.
Al B. Schwartz, do you use your phone in recording?
I use my phone as, I call it my mobile office. Obviously traveling a great deal, for a living, and being on the plane, and, I make sure I'm part of go in flight, and I have so as long as I can stay connected, that's significantly the most important part of just staying in touch, but also having to deal with so we're celebrating. There's something called the intellectual property law, and what has happened for myself as an artist who's from the era that the young lady spoke of, and
Dill pickle,
our superstar young lady resident right here. Absolutely, all day. And what's been amazing is so You have a pretty big head. How about that? It's very pretty. So, but the greatest part of it is that with the intellectual property law, we're having, so it's there's a, I don't want to be too technical with it, but after 35 years, all of the rights for these artists, and this is something that I've been an advocate of, is letting the artists know, very specifically from my generation, is that after 35 years, what that intellectual property law states is that, you then have an opportunity to regain all of the rights. So all of my rights, my masters, my publishing, everything reverts back to me. So there's a big, beautiful payday that comes along after 35 years of you just, honing on, like, there can be no like copyright, partnerships in that aspect of it where everything reverts back to me. So all of my masters and publishing and everything from Jodeci to Albie Shore to Tevin Campbell to everything to Usher to Rod Stewart to whatever I've worked on. And so now for the important part of an artist, and this is something I want to tell a young lady, because work as hard as you can doing what you do, because you can have fun when you're young and you're the superstar on top of the world, and then later on, when you decide to have kids and a family and things of that nature, what's going to be the fun part for you is that you're going to have such an amazing asset to leave to them, because when everything reverts back to you from all the hard work you put in with your craft, it's just going to be amazing. And and I've just been enjoying it now, because especially embarking on, you know, it's been amazing, especially after doing, some of the, whether it's D Nice or just kind of, and I don't want to say I discovered the whole D Nice thing, but I was the first person on his podcast before he was the Good Morning America or did the inauguration, or DJ Cassidy. I'm so elated to see people utilizing technology, and and even with myself as I've turned into this kind of soft grandfather of I have this little kid,
Come
going through this
on.
whole health and
Smooth
wellness
Come
soft
on, come on.
grandfather.
I have to toss back to our scientist, our resident scientist,
Smooth.
Dr. John. What other things can the students make with the technology they've learned with the 3D printer? How is that impacting science and technology with the 3D printer that Jacob and Lindsay are working with?
So 3D printers are absolutely amazing. The price point of them is dropped precipitously in the past several years, and it's the type of thing where pretty much you can build almost anything that you can think of. And
A
Albie was actually
car?
talking
Can you
about.
make a car?
Can you make a car? You can. You could. It would be pretty tough. You'd have to combine a lot of
He didn't
different
say
parts.
no.
What about, Professor? What about NFTs?
NFTs. So I'll be entirely.
Non-fungible tokens. Am I correct?
Yes, that is the acronym. I'm not really up on that, unfortunately, but it is something that has become very, very popular, which is great.
I'm going to say yes for you.
I just like the word
I'm saying
fungible.
You know
Yeah,
what?
Fungible.
but the NFTs are interesting within the context of having ownership over something, because if you put something online,
Absolutely.
it can be printed, right? So if I design a really cool sculpture that can be 3D printed, somebody can just print it
Absolutely.
themselves, which is really cool. So I don't know very much
But
about
also,
NFTs.
but also, so doctor, but you also will own that intellectual property
Yeah.
for the life of the property, in addition to putting it on what's called a blockchain, and you can actually, it's almost like a public auction. And what I learned about it, obviously from with you and our mutual friend Professor Eiler, but also with Snoop. Snoop has now engaged himself into the crypto space as well, and he put up almost like what $14 million worth of intellectual property, and it's been just phenomenal, specifically for artists. Like if you ever watch the end, okay, so this is for our wonderful young lady co-host here today. So remember the playoffs for the college playoffs, and is it called? I was going to say NAACP. It's so funny. I'm always thinking NAACP. So the college playoffs, when the young man made the winning shot right before, like, to me that was the actual finals game before there was the Gonzaga and so. But what has happened is he put that up. Remember that winning shot that he put up when they beat UCLA, and he actually put that up as an NFT, and it generated millions of dollars as an NFT. And that was like phenomenal, because it really shows that this technology is not going away. It's just
You
not
kids
gonna
at
go
home
away.
better look up
And the revenue generation
non-fungible
portion of it is going to be
tokens.
amazing.
Yeah.
Because NFTs is where it's going.
Yeah, I'm getting into it. Like I'm also in that space, just like, you know,
You are?
kinda, of learning. I'm continuing to learn and educate myself on it.
Okay,
And
so
all of my
so
team
so you,
members
I
are
want you
getting
to
me on
email
it.
me. I want you to email me, and I'm going to put you on our international team.
Okay,
I'm
heck
gonna
yeah.
incorporate you and involve you with my Jonathan, myself. We have an international dream team, and over the last 6 months, we just celebrated 6 months on the Visage platform, and as a collective group with 11,000 members, we've generated $30 million in cryptocurrency. So it's something that's truly, advantageous to our futures. Whether you're a grandfather or a bananas NBA, WNBA star. So I'm looking forward to it. So we're gonna make that happen for you as well.
Of course, you're watching On Air Education. My name is Jonathan Scott. Joining us via technology, we've got Al B. Shore, Dr. John Drazen, we've got Dylan Gonzalez, and we're going to take another very, very quick commercial break. Stay right where you are.
Whoever you are, you're one of us. Whatever you want, we'll get you there. If you're not like anyone else, you're just what we're looking for. It's time to enroll in your future. Nevada State College.
Dr. John, what gave you the idea to teach your students about technology using a 3D printer? I saw some of the video where you took one of your students and you had two sticks and a rope and were demonstrating how the knee and the ankle actually worked, which I thought was a great presentation. But what gave you the idea?
So there's something we like to say in science and everything that's all models are wrong, some models are useful. So what we were trying to do is we were trying to more or less explain why someone would and understand how someone would rupture their Achilles tendon. So we pretty much created like a stick model of the lower body, and the students were able to kind of see how the Achilles tendon works. And what was really cool is that when we started thinking about 3D printing, and actually I'll hold this up. So this is actually what we were originally going to make before we got into gibbets. And pretty much it's a 3D printed model of the tibia and the femur. And you can actually have it work relatively physiologically relevantly. And I started getting into that with them. And once they learned how to use the 3D printer, they wanted to make their own things, which is great because they kind of learned within the context of the class and they were able to apply it to their own interests. So when we
had a little
back
conversation, we had a brief conversation about shoes. You know, I know you're making these gibbets and they fit on Crocs, and I said to you, it's all about the shoes. And as I know from my girlfriend, it's all about the shoes. Dylan, it's all about the shoes.
All about the shoes. And you know what's so crazy is the last time that, Dr. John and I got to get introduced, I got to see everything with a 3D printer, and shout out to my gal, Carol Adams-Hatter, for even giving me this opportunity to speak on it and to participate in this and get involved, because I was so impressed. Seriously, and I want a gibbet. Is that what it is? I need to make one for myself.
Well, here's the conversation.
It's crazy.
The conversation that we had was Dr. John said that the shoes don't matter to the athletes, because a lot of athletes, like yourself, your foot, you're jumping up and down, it's going to cause damage to your feet. And Dr. John, you can jump in here anytime. You've been developing what I call an orthotic. Is that the right way to say it? That fits inside the shoe, designed to help your foot.
Yeah.
And of course, we had another young man on that's one of Dr. John's students. And I said, my point was, if you go out and you buy a new pair of Jordan Nikes 11, whatever number they're on, and you've got some new shoes and you feel great, mentally, doesn't that make you feel better and play better?
It really does. Like, when it comes down to, does the shoe matter, I'm definitely on the side of the fact that it does. I've been wearing the same shoes that, have been holding me down for a minute. I honestly need to start, it's like that like Mike situation. I don't want to let go of my shoes that are like helping me play amazing. But at the end of the day, one thing for certain is the functionality of the shoe. And you'll see that there is a consistency if you actually study even some of the people that are trying to come out with shoes now. One of the things as an athlete that I look at is how injury prone is that athlete? Are they wearing their shoes when they are getting injured every time? Like studying in that kind of way as well is, at least for me, important because the structure of the shoe, the materials of the shoe really do matter. Also, if you want ankle support or not, that's something that can contribute to a player and your ability to play. And then also the juice, the swag, the sauce. People want to be flashy these days. They want to look good at the same time. Listen, I know all about the sauce.
I thought that's on Sunday, gravy.
That's just the gravy. But the spaghetti bowl's backed up.
I want to make sure we plug your new foundation. What's your new foundation called?
Yes, my foundation is called the Peace Train Foundation. The mission is to anybody who needs more love, just hop on board. And it would be completely contradictory of me and that statement to not take a second to send a prayer with my love over to Israel and all the people over there. If you want to find out more, #LoveIsTheMovement to get more information on that. But yeah, it's been a crazy whirlwind getting that together. But ultimately, my whole mission in wanting to do it was to be able to just help anybody that needed it. And I didn't even like coming into creating a 501c3, how they tried to compartmentalize how I could help people or who I could help, and you get violations for if you stepped outside of that. So I just went the TED Talk route when it came to my mission statement. Kept it simple, kept it broad. There's a spreading ideas. I said, okay, bet. Love is the movement. To anybody who needs more love, hop on board. New Age Harriet Tubman. Peace Train Foundation.
Peace Train Foundation. It's all about the shoes. One last check up on our 3D printer. Al B, can you sing us out of here? It's all about love. We could spend another hour easily with everybody. I want to thank our guest Al B. Shore, Dr. John Dresden, Dylan Gonzalez, of course, our associate producer Carol Adams Hatara, and everybody here at Show Creators. My name's Jonathan Scott. If you have any more questions or you want to be involved somehow, please send me an email at info@onairentertainment.com. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay happy, and eat well and party hard, my friends.
Stay educated.
Education. Whatever else we
And Jonathan Scott here with Jacob and Lizzie and a 3D printer. Tell me about the 3D printer, Jacob.
So this is a 3D printer we started with Quartz Science, and then we actually made you one right here. This is a little microphone.
Hello, check 1 2, check 1 2.
You want to talk about our little gibbets here?
Sure.
What's a gibbet?
A gibbet, well, if you ever owned a pair of Crocs, which I hadn't before this machine, it's basically just a shoe, and you can put a lot of gibbets on it, which is just a design for you to wear and show off.